Joining us now for a preview of the Ducks is a man who's starting next weekend. You will hear right here on 105.1 FM, The Fan. The color analyst of the Oregon Ducks, Mike Jorgensen, at Jorgie_Mike on Twitter. Jorgie, good morning to you. How was the offseason, buddy? How we doing?
Hey, doing good. It's been a good summer. Football's here, ready to go. You know, I think everybody is. Everybody is biting at the bit to get this thing going. I was out at Oxford Stadium last night with a bunch of sponsors, and they're excited. So let's go. It's go time.
I mean, it is go time, Jorgie. This is a unique team this year where a few more known entities, I would say, maybe a year ago going into the season, especially at quarterback. Whereas this year, they're flying a little more under the radar. Now, you know, that's still a top 10 ranked team going into the season and, you know, one of the odds-on favorites to win the conference championship. But there's a lot of unknowns about this team, but I would say that they feel great about the level of talent. Now that you're, you know, getting in the swing of things and watching practice and we're a week away from starting, I'm just kind of 30,000-foot view. Where are they at in your mind going into the season?
Well, yes to everything you just said right there. I mean, I think they've got the talent. There's no doubt about it. But you got to get playing time together. You got to get game time together and get past the practices and begin to get game snaps in and that experience that you need from that young talent, because it's going to be different when all of a sudden there's 50, 60,000 people in the stands and you're playing against a different color than your own guys. And so you take a look at the group, and really all the production, particularly on offense, that's the first thing that sticks out to me is the production that you don't have anymore. I mean, you had Dylan Gabriel doing what he was doing, Terrence Ferguson, Trayshawn Holden, Jordan James. You think about all the yards, all the receiving yards, all the touchdowns, all the different things. All those guys are gone. And so now you're bringing in a bunch of guys that are pretty good. There's no doubt about it. Really, Kenyon Sadiq is the main name that you look at. And so, you know as well as I do, when you've got that many alphas on offense that you've lost, and you had to defend them with that many alphas, that's why our teams had such a difficult time defending this team last year. And so a lot of young talent, particularly at the wide receiver position, a lot of young talent there, and a boatload of running backs. Don't know who it's going to be, but those are the type of things that you need to produce. I think defensively they're pretty solid. I really do. But offensively, there's going to be some questions.
I do want to get to the defense in a moment with you, Jorgie, because I'm very curious and very excited to see what they look like this year, just in terms of the size and the measurables that are standing out of, man, this looks like a defense that has a lot of potential. I'm curious as a former quarterback, and obviously, I mean, the game has changed so much and evolved and drastically different offenses, but as a former quarterback, when you watch the way Will Stein calls an offense, like I was doing a hit yesterday previewing Oregon, and somebody asked me how big of a concern Dante Moore was, assuming he wins the job. And I said, it's not that big of a concern for me, mainly because of the offense that he plays in. As somebody who played that position at a high level, what is it about the offense that you think makes it one where it's attractive to quarterbacks, one, but they're also being put in a position to succeed?
Well, that's what Will Stein does such a great job of, is he puts them into the role that they feel the best. He doesn't try to make them somebody they're not. I mean, he's not going to make, if it ends up, from a quarterback position, if it ends up more, he's not going to try to make him do what Marcus Mariota did. He's not going to run for 1,000 yards. He's mobile, but at the same time, his arm is so talented, he's going to put him in a position with athletes in open space, the Decorian Moores, the Dyer Hills from a running back standpoint, young guys like that he's going to put into open space. That's what Will Stein does such a good job of. And that's what I think has been the case all the way through. I mean, he was, pretty fortunate to have a guy like, Bone Hicks or Dylan Gabriel, two guys that started over 120 games combined in their careers, to be able to have guys come in and played that many snaps. He does it if it's more, because he's only started 5 games in his career, and none of the other guys have started at all. But he knows what the talent level is. He puts guys in space in particular, like he's going to do with Kenyon Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq is bigger, stronger, faster, so he's going to can be that traditional tight end, but he's a freak of an athlete, so he's going to put him in matchups that this team can take advantage of. And that's what I really like about what Will Stein does, is he puts guys in matchups and in situations that suit what their talent is and he's going to do that with whoever the quarterback is as well.
Yeah, we're talking with Mike Jorgensen, color analyst of the Ducks. You could hear him every weekend, starting next weekend right here on The Fan as Ducks games kick off on 105.1 FM. The Fan will be down there for the pregame show next week and have Jorgie on for that as well. Give him a follow on Twitter at Jorgie_Mike. Last one offensively for you, Jorgie. Just the offensive line was such a disaster early in the season last year. And the close game against Idaho and the uncomfortable game against Boise, and they just really struggled. And where are we at there this year where it's an experienced group but no experience together? What's kind of standing out when you see those guys, and how do you feel that group being ready to hit the ground running year one?
I mean, everything that you're saying, Dirt, is exactly the way it's going to approach this first game, second game, third game. It's guys need game snaps together. The talent is there, the Isaiah Worlds and the people like that they've plugged in for the Josh Connerleys. They're just as talented, but they haven't played together. And any time I think you've got the anchor, Lalaulu, at the center position as the main anchor of that offensive line, if there's one guy I want back, my experienced guy, it's a center who's played at a high level because he directs the traffic at the line of scrimmage along with the quarterback. And so that's what they do have. They've got the talent on the outside, but what they have to do is gel. And gelling only comes with time, as we saw last year. Idaho, Boise State, I mean, a lot of those preseason games. And by the time you get to about game 3 or 4, the rhythm sets in. Now, the hope is that you do it way before then.
Right.
But that's the way. But that's the way this team's going to be this year. And if they get there way before then that'll really tell you something, and they're off to the races. But that's going to be the case, I think, with the offensive line, the receivers. This whole offense, for the most part, is going to take probably 2 or 3 or 4 games to really get in rhythm. But the pieces are there. Now they just need the game snaps.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Penn State game is game 4 and not game 1.
Yeah.
Give you to warm up and get ready for it. Jorgie, for me, the defense, sky's the limit. I love what's going to be on this side of the ball. Is you've gotten a chance to get around them and see them. Just kind of what are some of the intangibles that are standing out when you watch that group and Dan Lanning cooking here in year 4?
Well, it's always the outside linebackers. I'll tell you. I mean, they with Uyunglele and Purchase and Tuioti and guys like Nasir Wyatt and Elijah Rushing, they're really deep at that position and talented. And those guys, they're really good players. There's no doubt about it. But they benefited from guys like Derek Harmon and Jamari Caldwell last year because they disrupted things on the inside so badly. A quarterback, if he was going to try to get outside the pocket, had nowhere to go because the mop-up duty was done by some talented guys on the outside. And I think they got a chance to be able to do that this year, too, with Amari Washington and Bear Alexander, Tion Gray, to disrupt the interior so those guys can take care of the outside. But a guy like Blake Purchase, man, I tell you, he's changed. And I don't know if he's lightened up or what it is, but he's a second faster. He's way quicker. He's a guy who has stuck out during fall ball to go along with Tuioti and Uyunglele. I mean, they're deep at that position. Guys are going to be fresh. And then in the secondary, I think, and obviously getting Thieneman from Purdue, people are going to love the way he plays. Everything he does is so sudden. He just, boom, makes the decision. He's Johnny on the spot, delivers the blow, very physical from the free safety position. Theron Johnson, the corner transfer from Northwestern, is very good too. The linebacker position is really shored up. So I'm excited to see this defense play because I think in the early part of the season, that's what the team is going to have to rely on a little bit is the play of the defense to really carry the offense before the offense catches up.
Yeah, I love pointing out Blake Purchase, a guy that we kind of forgot about at times last year who had such a big impact as a freshman and then for whatever reason, to your point, kind of fell out of the rotation. It wasn't as big of a snap count player last year and now seemingly back on track and ready to make a big impact this year as a dominant pass rusher. When you take a look at the schedule, Jorgie, a lot of miles getting traveled, right? You get Oklahoma State non-conference, the Penn State game, obviously. What are the little notes that stand out to you as you started jotting down like a little trap games or that might be difficult or a road trip you're excited for? What stands out schedule-wise for you?
Well, I'm excited to get back to Iowa. That's always a fun place to go to, but it's been a long, long time. Very first game I did as a broadcaster was at Iowa.
What year was there, Jorgie? What year was there?
Jeez, I think that was in 1989. How about that?
89, a road game at Iowa. Wow.
Yeah. So we'll return there. Look forward to it. Going to Rutgers, Piscataway.
Yeah.
Looking forward to go. 2 new states I've never been to, Pennsylvania, New Jersey this year. So that'll be kind of fun. But I think the tough games that they have, I mean, you can't trip up on anything. But obviously that whiteout Penn State late September is going to be a great one. They go 2 weeks later back to New Jersey to play Rutgers. So 2 long road trips with a break in between. The Washington game to end the season is going to be difficult because I think the Huskies are going to be better this year. And you get to that last game of the season, you don't know where you're going to stand, needing a win to get to the playoff or a loss kicks you out of it potentially. You just never know what's going to happen with that. But, yeah, looking forward to those trips. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's games that I'm glad that Oregon doesn't have to travel to, like the Lincoln maybe with Nebraska, or Illinois is going to be, I think, a lot better this year. There's trips like that I'm glad they don't have to make. The schedule, I think, lays out really good for them, and just a lot to be excited for. But this team needs to grow, and it will grow very quickly. I know Dan Lanning loves the makeup of the team, and from what I've seen in practice, I really do too.
Now, I mean, this is a dumb question because broadcasting much different than playing. But being on those flights and all the travel, that was a big talking point last year of like 2 time zones and how are you going to handle it. This year's even more. I think there's only 2 or 3 maybe teams in the country who travel more. One of them's Hawaii, who obviously will, and then Stanford, who plays a non-conference game at Hawaii and plays their conference games in the ACC. So a lot of miles. You mentioned that back-to-back games with a bye week in between of Pennsylvania and then all the way out to Rutgers. How did you feel it last year? How did you think the team handled it? And that's just a new thing that they're trying to adjust to in the new conference.
Yeah, I think they adjusted well last year. I really don't think it impacted them whatsoever. And if those games, I believe they are, I know the whiteout is a late game.
Yeah.
So, you've got a day and a half or 2 to be able to adjust to the time zone differences and that type of deal. But, I got to tell you, when you're 21, 22, 18 years old, you don't give a crap, man. Those guys are so resilient. You go play football, you put on the helmet and the pads, and you get after it. So it's us old guy fans that end up paying the price 2 or 3 days later. So
not quite built like we used to. Mike Jorgensen. No. What year is this of you and Jerry working together now? You mentioned 89 as your start. Was Jerry doing games in 89?
Yeah. This will be Jerry's 39th year, my 37th, if you can believe that. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy.
Man, you guys are legends. So fun. I can't wait to see you next weekend in the shorts. I know you're ready to go. Off season is over. Football season is here, baby. Mike Jorgensen, color analyst of the Oregon Ducks. Go give him a follow on Twitter at Jorgie_Mike. Thanks for the time this morning, buddy. Great catching up, and we'll see you next weekend.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you.
There you go. Mike Jorgensen, color analyst of the Oregon Ducks, as they get ready for the season to begin next week. That is insane. I didn't want to tell him there and age himself that he started calling games the year I was born. They have been working together my entire life. I didn't realize that they were that long tenured. I knew that they had been working together forever. I didn't realize it started in 89.
I was actually still in high school, so just starting college.
Dude, they've been doing it forever, man. Jorgie's the best. He's one of those guys. He walks up, puts a smile on your face immediately. Great character.
Yes, he and I are the founding members of the I Hate Pants.
He will not wear pants, no matter the weather. He will not do it.
I'm trying to figure out the appropriate time for pilots. Like, how nice do they need to be if I can work it in?
I think you can on the court side. You'll be all right. A little bit warmer in gyms. You'll be fine in shorts. Class it up a little bit.